Good morning, everyone. My name is Timothy Lee, and I'm a mining analyst here at Red Cloud Securities. We'd like to thank INN for sponsoring this session. We welcome Larry Page, President, and Rob Macdonald, VP Exploration of Southern Silver. They'll speak to us about Southern Silver's flagship Cerro Las Meninas project in Mexico, which hosts a large polymetallic resource, as well as the company's exploration projects in New Mexico. Gentlemen, you have 15 minutes, and then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A at the end of the session. Attendees, please feel free to ask questions using the Q&A link below. Take it away, Larry.
Thanks very much, Timothy. Larry Page talking to you from Vancouver. Rob is going to tell you about our major project in New Mexico, but it might be interesting for you to have a little bit of background of how we developing this penny dreadful company into what we expect to be a major producer, and we can talk about timeframes. The company is one of 4 companies that are part of the Mannix Resource Group. It's a private company. It provides all of the backroom services that explorers need on a cost-efficient basis. Presently, we have 4 companies in the group who are exploring in British Columbia, in Nevada, in Mexico, and New Mexico. So if you have an interest in their futures, you could look at the Mannix Resource website. This company here has been developing Cerro Las Meninas property for the last 10 or so years. We bought it right. It's one of many mining claims that comprise the hill of many mines, and a Mexican national put it together. We dickered a deal to buy it for $4 million, which we did. There are no burdens on it, and we have had partners as we've been developing the prospect. Freeport McMoran put $5 million into play, and when they left Mexico, they left us with all the data and the property unencumbered. The Electrum Group out of New York, which is our 25% shareholder, began buying equity in various equity raises, ultimately agreed to put $5 million into the ground for a 60% working interest. So we were operator. It was a 60-40 deal. It didn't work out for us because we wanted to move more quickly than they did. We made a deal to buy their interest for $15 million. We've concluded all of that. We paid some of it in stock, some of it in cash. They're a very, very supportive shareholder, and their stock's tied up. So 25% of the float is out of the market, essentially. Having said all that, we've got a limited amount of time. We're drilling. We're in the midst of doing a PEA, and I'm starting to infringe in Rob's speech. So I'm going to be quiet and invite Rob to carry on. Thanks, Rob.
Okay, thank you very much, Larry, and thank you all for joining us on this presentation. And with Southern Silver, I'll be featuring predominantly our flagship project, the Cerro Las Meninas silver, lead, zinc skarn system, which we're developing into the next major silver resource in Mexico. I will be making some forward-looking statements. I am the VP of Exploration, and that's kind of what I do. And so just be warned. So I will focus primarily on Cerro Las Meninas. We do have 2 other projects located in southern New Mexico that I will touch on as well. But with Cerro Las Meninas, we have a silver, lead, zinc skarn system located in Durango, Mexico. It is currently one of the largest and highest grade undeveloped silver-based projects in the world, with indicated and inferred resources totaling 335 million silver equivalent ounces at an average grade of 326 grams per ton silver equivalent. The resources are separated about 40% in the indicated category, 60% in the inferred category. It's in a very well-established mining district, located in a well-established mining district in Mexico, safe jurisdiction surrounded by producing companies. We own 100% and fully control the CLM project. We're financed, and we have a full treasury to complete our work in 2022, and that includes a preliminary economic assessment of the project scheduled for the middle of this year. We have new discoveries and new drilling on our Cerro Las Manitas project, and I'll review that in the presentation. We've just started drilling on our Oro project in southern New Mexico, and we continue some greenfields surface exploration on our Hermanas project toward permitting stage and being in a position to drill this project toward the end of 2022. This is the capital structure for the project as of late last month. We're sitting at around, I guess now at today's price is about $100 million Canadian market cap. We have Electrum as a significant shareholder in the project, as well as institutional participation within our shares. Analyst coverage is through Tim here at Red Cloud and Sid at Fundamental Research. Recent ratings suggest that we should be trading at a much higher level compared to what we are trading these days. And we get newsletter coverage through the Caesars Report, Silver Stock Investor, and Silver Chartist as well. So again, just to reiterate, Cerro Las Manitas is one of the largest and highest grade undeveloped silver-based projects in the world, with indicated and inferred resources totaling 335 million silver equivalent ounces. We are one of the largest, sit in the top 10 of undeveloped silver-based resources in the world. And of those large deposits, we are the highest grade. And that is because some of these larger deposits, they tend to be bulk mineable deposits and tend to be lower grade deposits. So we're looking at underground mining situations, and we have the grade to support that scenario. We have an experienced management group with history of success, particularly in Mexico, with world-class deposits such as Peñasquito in Mexico, San Cristobal in Bolivia, the San Nicolas project in Zacatecas, Mexico. So it's a group of people that know what major projects look like. They've had success with previous projects. They know how to develop new projects and bring them to a production decision, either within the companies that they're operating with or through sale of the asset to producers that put the project into production for the benefit of the shareholder. So in terms of our project portfolio, we have 3 projects within the company, 2 in southern New Mexico, those being the Oro and the Hermanas projects. Both of those are either 100% owned or optioned to own 100% in terms of the Hermanas project. And I'll touch on those a little later in the presentation. The flagship of the company is Cerro Las Manitas. It sits within the heart of the Faja de Plata, or Belt of Silver, of north central Mexico. It's 100% owned. We've spent over $30 million in exploration and acquisition on the project since initially optioning the project in 2011. We've recently increased the mineral resource and are working towards a PEA in Q2 of 2022. The project is a large property package located just 70 kilometers to the northeast of Durango. You can get to the project through divided highway, and autopista runs right through the project, and we're surrounded by producers. You can see terrific infrastructure here, excellent access. And, we've got Hecla on one side, Fresnillo on the north. Avino is mining just 6 kilometers away. Again, it's an excellent logistics and a fantastic place to be working. We have community support. We have all our exploration and environmental permits in place, exploration access agreements with the local ejido, and to that end, we've completed over 80,000 meters of drilling at a cash discovery cost of only 9 cents an ounce silver equivalent. So again, exploration is a great way to continue adding value to the project. This is Cerro Las Manitas, the hill of many mines. You can see in the foreground, divided highway sits here. There's access from the town located just to the south. It's an 8-minute drive to get onto the property, so very easy access. And you can see that we've identified 4 mineral deposits on the western flank of the Cerro and 2 mineral deposits on the eastern flank of the Cerro. So it's 6 mineral deposits here in and around the Cerro. And what the Cerro is, it's a zone of skarn alteration around a central intrusion, which sits in the middle of the Cerro. Mineralization sits on the flanks, on both the western and the eastern flanks. It's very similar to other mineral deposits like Grupo Mexico, San Martin, First Majestic's La Paria deposit, Peñoles Velardeña project, which is located just 80 kilometers up the road that you saw in the previous graphic. Very classic Mexican systems. So a central intrusion acts as the heat pump. Mineralization is localized around the skarn altered halo around that central intrusion, or in structures or along dike margins off to the side. So this is the basic location of the 6 mineral deposits that we've identified, and the skarn front is the largest of those deposits, accounting for over 200 million of the 335 million silver equivalent ounces that we've identified to date. This is a breakdown of the mineralization in the project. The main things to look at is that, again, the breakdown of the indicated versus the inferred resources, the contained silver mineralization within the project. So as a total 115 million silver ounces alone within the project, 2.7 billion pounds of combined lead and zinc. And so we've, you can see the breakdown into the mineral deposits. The skarn front deposit here and here accounts for over 18 million tons of the 32 million tons that make up the full resource that we have in the deposit. So we had an updated mineral resource in October of last year. What that did, it was increased our tonnage, increased the contained metal, increased our contained silver. The silver mineralization, there was more silver mineralization as a ratio within the Mina La Bacona, the South Skarn deposits, and that's reflected in a sharp increase in our silver resources within the overall our overall resource. We also have an NSR value now calculated for the deposit, $1.6 billion in the indicated category, $2.4 billion in the inferred category. So again, very sizable, valuable deposit that we've identified, and that we're transitioning now into getting the mine plan done and wrapping all of that in economics. So we have our excellent metallurgical recoveries. We're able to identify 3 different concentrates: a lead concentrate, which contains most of the silver; a zinc concentrate, which is very pure and high grade; and a copper concentrate, which adds additional value to the process flow sheet. We're now in the stages of getting a preliminary mine design and are now starting to put economics around the project, and we would look to have a PEA ready by the June timeframe of 2022, so not that far away. In terms of our continued exploration, we continue work on the project. So since we sort of stopped considering holes for the resource update, we've completed another 8 holes on our El Sol concession that sits here just off to the northwest of the main Bacona block of claims, which host the known mineral deposits. And we've completed almost 4,000 meters now on the North Fell site. So 10 holes in this area on the North Fell site. This is a summary of the results. At El Sol, we have a high-grade intercept in hole number 3. We've now stepped off of that hole with holes 6 and 7, and we have those results pending in the coming weeks. Similarly, we've recently reported, I think it was about a week or 10 days ago, we reported high-grade results and thick zones of mineralization from the North Felsite zone. We are now completing some drilling around that North Felsite zone and are looking to expand that mineralization, again highlighting high-grade mineralization as well as thick zones of mineralization, 5.8 meters, 11.8 meters, 8 meters. So again, a good mineralized lens being identified along strike from the Mina La Bacona deposit that we've already identified. At Oro, we have, this is now in southern New Mexico. We have easy road access to the project, a big litho cap identified on the project, excellent porphyry target located in this area. And as you move out, you have historic replacement deposits, silver, lead, zinc replacement deposits, and then gold mineralization, distal gold target in the stock pond. Our focus right now is to look at the porphyry target. We've identified 3 holes testing geophysical targets and other our surface mapping and sampling in the Oro project, as well as skarn targets down in the southern part of the around the intrusion. So we have 6 holes, 4,000 meters. We just started drilling this week, and we'll have assay results over the coming 4 to 6 weeks. At Hermanas, a new project, we just optioned it last fall. This was picked up from Perry Hillemeyer and Bud Durning. They're expert prospectors, very well known in Mexico, having identified Camino Rojo, Piteria, San Sebastian, San Agustin deposits, and they identified this large epithermal vein system. We've optioned this from them. And we're completing our mapping and sampling on the project, and we should have some initial surface samples coming out over the next 4 weeks or so. So I guess that's it in a nutshell. We have things to look forward to moving forward through 2022, preliminary economic assessment in the middle of this year. We have greenfields drilling on CLM and the Oro projects as we expand the North Fell site and start the next drilling campaign on the Oro project, and ongoing surface work on our Hermanas project towards drilling scheduled in the fall of 2022. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen, very much for the great presentation. We'll now move to the Q&A session. We do have a question or two already. Looking at Oro, when might we expect initial drilling results to come out? Obviously, we don't know the timing of assay labs these days, but when might we anticipate results there?
I mean, my guess, we've just started drilling on the first hole, and so my guess, it's probably in that sort of 6 to 8 week range, to get the hole drilled, sampled, and then the turnaround seems to be in that 6 to 8 week range for assays from Oro.
Great. And another question on CLM. Looking at the economics of the project, obviously the zinc price is hitting new highs, at least for the last 15-year highs. Can you tell us a little more about the breakdown of the value of metals in the project?
Yes. Both silver and zinc have approximate equal values in the project. Now, with zinc going through the roof like it has been, there's probably a bit more value now in the zinc, but they've traditionally been in that 40%, each about 40% level. And then you get about 20% of the value in the lead and the copper mineralization. Now, I mean, if you look at spot prices, again, you're probably seeing a very, very significant uptick in the value of the zinc concentrate right now. I think Tim and I were talking about it before the presentation, and so if you have a 40% of $4 billion, and then you have about a 40 or 50% increase in the value of zinc, that ends up being several $100 million increase in the value of the project over what was calculated in the presentation. So again, it's a good time to have a polymetallic project right now, with a very strong emphasis on both the silver and the zinc.
Great. All right, well, I think that about wraps it up today. I'd like to thank you again, Larry and Rob, for the presentation today, and thank you everyone out there on the line for joining us. Up next, we have Libero Copper and Gold on Stream 1 and Reina Silver on Stream 2.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.